So's Jill Stein. Time now for the Chump Line.
I train my dog to howl every time Charlie Baker says folks. Damn thing won't shut up.
Were you wondering what Charlie Parker had for dinner last night? When he was on the conference call with the Republican State Committee last night, he had to tell us, he had to inform everyone what he was having for dinner. Cut 51.
I've had 3 members of the state committee text me and ask me what I was eating and what I was drinking. So I was eating pasta because I didn't have a chance to eat dinner because I had to give that speech. And I'm drinking grapefruit juice because I'm 60-something years old now. And when you get to a certain age, you try and, pay attention to stuff like that.
He's 60-something years. He doesn't know how old he is. And, another tragic thing, like not being able to play basketball and not being able to visit his friends as if he had any friends. When he orders out for pasta, there's only half as many places to choose from as there were a year ago because he's put them all out of business with these stupid lockdowns. Go on.
Howie Kurt Schilling has character issues. Did they really think I needed another reason not to watch professional sports?
All professional sports have kind of gone downhill, but baseball has gone down even more than the NBA, I would say. Those 4-hour games, what are they thinking of? What was the rationale? The games were kind of boring for a modern audience at 2 hours. So what did they do? They doubled the time.
Copy.
The Chump Line is brought to you every weekday by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, reminding President Biden that while he and the good doctor redecorate the White House, they could save energy and increase property values by putting in some of our wicked awesome windows and doors.
Howie, this guy doesn't belong in the White House. I mean, if some guy steals a cop car, does that make him a cop or just a criminal taking a joyride?
Come on. Talk like that is a sexistential threat to the nation, as Joe put it today.
Cuomo almost got it right. It's actually incompetent governors who kill people.
Yeah, incompetent governors lead incompetent governments. But Andrew Cuomo, he won an Emmy, so he can't be incompetent, right?
So, if I wear one mask for 100 days, does that mean if I wear 2 masks, it could only be for 50 days? Or 3 masks for 25 days?
I got 3 masks. I had 3 masks. Do I hear 4 masks? Do I hear 4? 4? Got 4? Do I hear 5 masks? 5 masks going once, going twice, etc., etc.
There's a reason it's called the Baseball Hall of Fame. You're inducted for what you accomplished in the game. He can't get over the hump because he supported Trump. And that reason makes it a damn shame.
Very good limerick, guy. An excellent limerick for this moment. For Kurt Schilling to have to withdraw his name from the consideration.
You're Mayor, Joe Biden's spokesperson is Jen Psaki. Rem sounds like one of my old girlfriends, Jen, who I left in Lake Winnipesaukee. Yeah.
And I prefer Scotch, but in a pinch, I'll have some Jen. By the way, is there any hair color like Jen Psaki's in nature? Is that her real hair color? I think not.
Ben & Jerry's Democrat-themed ice creams have been such a success. More flavors have been released, including Don Lemon Ice, Shagwell Strawberry, Stone Election Sundae, Cuomo's COVID Cookie Dough, only available in nursing homes, Nadler's Nasty Nougat, Pisaki's Fish Food. Unfortunately, Impeachment was unexpectedly sold out on a pre-order from someone named Nancy in San Francisco.
Well put. I think we could come up with even more flavors if we put our mind to it.
Do you ever notice every time you hear the phrase, all but 2 Republican senators or all but 3 Republican senators, Susan Collins is always one of those Republican senators.
And Mitt Romney is always one, too. And Lisa Murkowski almost always. But I think Pat Toomey, now that he's going back to the private sector, he will be joining them in the Never Say Trump club.
My emotional support gorilla is so upset at Southwest Airlines, he destroyed my luggage.
Southwest Airlines has said no more comfort animals. You can still have a service animal, like a seeing eye dog, but you can't have a service animal. If you bring any animal on board, the animal now has to remain under your seat in a cage. So it can't be a very big dog, obviously, and it's got to stay in the cage.
Howie, Charlie Baker calling. You want to censure me for following the metrics? Well then, I'm going to impeach you from the Wellesley town meeting. The folks in the congressional community assure me that the parameters are in place to do this, and that we'll all be clapping along with Donna White, which she says you can no longer come on down.
I'm no longer on the Wellesley Town Committee. I did not seek a third term. And if I'd been elected, I would not have served the term. Another way you can tell a phony baloney of either party, but it's even phonier when a Republican says it, make no mistake. You know what Charlie Parker said last night during the State of the State address? Make no mistake. I'm a phony.
John Kerry says the U.S. is moving toward zero carbon emissions to combat climate change. And if that doesn't work, he's bringing in James Taylor.
Yeah, where was James Taylor today? Shouldn't he have been there strumming a little background music? He gave an interview to the Wall Street Journal I saw over the weekend. And I looked at the headline and said, no way. I'm sorry I wasted 1 second reading the headline saying James Taylor interview.
That was your last CHUMPLINE message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
Okay, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any time between the hours of 1 and 4 p.m. Leave your Chump Line message by calling 844-500-4242. That's 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. If we don't play it now, we may play it in our Chopped Chumps podcast. We post the Chopped Chumps podcast of the messages that didn't make it to the broadcast version you just heard at around 7 o'clock every evening. Get your Chopped Chumps podcast wherever you get your Howie Carr Show podcast. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, reminding President Biden that while he and the good doctor redecorate the White House, they could save energy and increase the property values by putting in some of our wicked awesome windows and doors.
Howie, this guy doesn't belong in the White House. I mean, if some guy steals a cop car, does that make him a cop or just a criminal taking a joyride?
It's a very good point. I'm Howie Carr.
They call him the Trash Man, but we'll call him Captain Howie Carr.
The election is behind us, and what happens next is